In the darkest hours of World War II, the entire Allied invasion of Europe, the greatest amphibious landing in history, hinged on the word of a spy. But this wasn't some suave, hardened intelligence operative. He was a Spanish chicken farmer who had failed at nearly everything he'd ever tried. He had zero experience, had never fired a gun, and was armed with little more than a tourist guidebook to Britain. This is the unbelievable true story of how one man, rejected by British intelligence, conned his way into becoming Hitler's most trusted agent and used a fake army of spies to save D-Day. Juan Pujol Garcia was, to put it mildly, an unlikely hero. A hotel manager and chicken farmer from Barcelona, he came out of the brutal Spanish Civil War with a deep-seated hatred for both fascism and communism. As he watched Hitler's war machine tear through Europe, he felt an overwhelming need to do something for the good of humanity. His plan was audacious and simple. He would become a spy for Britain. So, in 1941, he walked into the British embassy in Madrid and offered his services. Their response? They all but laughed him out of the building. They saw a man with no military background, no connections, and no experience. To them, he was useless. But Juan Pujol was not a man who took no as an answer. If the British wouldn't hire him to spy on the Germans, he'd get the Germans to hire him first, and then he'd betray them. Pujol invented a brand new persona, a fanatically pro-Nazi Spanish official eager to spy for the Reich, and the German intelligence agency, the Abwehr, fell for it hook, line, and sinker. They gave him a crash course in espionage, a bottle of invisible ink, a pile of cash, and told him to get to London and build a spy network. The only problem? Pujol never went to London. He moved to Lisbon, Portugal instead. From his apartment, armed with nothing but a tourist guide, a map, and public train timetables, he started inventing his reports. He created incredibly detailed and entirely fictional accounts of British military movements. His information was a beautiful mess. He complained to his German handlers about things that didn't exist and made excuses based on the famously terrible British weather. He even had his non-existent spies using the London Underground to move ammunition, a logistical nightmare that was pure fantasy. As wild as his reports were, they were so passionate and detailed that the Germans were absolutely thrilled. Those same reports were also being intercepted by British codebreakers at Bletchley Park. At first, MI5 was baffled. They were hunting for a German master spy operating in Britain, only to realize the reports were coming from some guy in Lisbon who was just making it all up. They saw the potential immediately. In April 1942, the British finally brought Pujol to London, gave him the code name Garbo because he was the best actor in the world, and helped him perfect his craft. Together with his MI5 case officer, Garbo expanded his fictional network. Soon he was managing a cast of 27 imaginary sub-agents. There was a disgruntled sailor, a Welsh nationalist, a civil servant, and even a Venezuelan student in Glasgow. The Germans paid for all of them and even sent a pension for a spy's widow after Garbo killed him off in a report to cover a mistake. Garbo's network was so convincing and prolific that the Germans felt they had Britain completely covered, seeing little need to recruit other spies in the country. Garbo's greatest performance was just around the corner, Operation Fortitude. As the Allies planned the D-Day invasion, they desperately needed to convince Germany that the main attack would hit Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. The success of the entire war effort depended on this deception. Garbo became the star of the show. In the months before the invasion, he sent over 500 radio messages, all pointing to a massive fictional army group preparing to strike at Calais. On the morning of June 6, 1944, as Allied ships secretly steamed toward Normandy, Garbo sent an urgent warning to his German handlers. He confirmed an invasion was underway, but insisted it was merely a diversion to draw their forces away from the real target, Calais. The Nazis believed him, utterly. Hitler was so convinced he kept crucial armored and infantry divisions stationed in Pas-de-Calais for weeks, waiting for a phantom invasion that would never come.
This critical delay gave the Allies the time they needed to secure their foothold in Normandy, saving countless lives and ensuring D-Day was a success. For his services, Juan Pujol Garcia achieved the unbelievable. On July 29, 1944, he was awarded the Iron Cross by the Germans, an honor personally authorized by Hitler for his extraordinary merits. Then, on November 25, 1944, he was secretly made a member of the Order of the British Empire by King George VI. Fearing Nazi retribution after the war, MI5 helped Garbo fake his death from malaria in 1949. He moved to Venezuela, ran a small shop, and lived in total obscurity for decades. He was finally rediscovered in 1984 and died, for real this time, in Caracas in 1988, having lived one of the most remarkable and impactful secret lives of the 20th century.